Hey guys, Cool Blind, we're back. I'm Rick.
Eren.
I'm Calvin.
We're here with Attack on Titan. Last time on Shadis,
Magath.
coming together and exploded.
And then
going apart.
unfortunately coming apart.
But they blew up the ship. They're allowing our team to get away and chase Eren. To stop him?
Well, first we're going to be going to a shipping dock in Odiha to try to repair before we can get to Eren. But
And set up the
Eren might get there
airship.
first.
Well,
We don't know.
they said Marley and Liberia will probably be destroyed.
Yep.
They can't get there in time.
That's Annie's reason for fighting.
Is Flock dead? You think?
No.
No,
I say yeah. What about you, Eren?
definitely not.
I can't say.
You know?
Oh no, he knows.
No, not that I know, but there was a thing yesterday, or last week, when I said about an idea, and I wrote it down,
Yeah.
and I haven't said what it was yet. But you guys keep talking about stuff, and it might be related to things or not.
Gonna guess has nothing to do with Flock.
Great.
Well, thank God there's a part 2.
Well, yeah.
What? What? You just ends like this?
Oh, part 3. But yes, I get you. Yeah. I mean, we knew that was going to be the case. I don't think people knew that was going to be the case when they watched this the first time.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they announced part 3 when this aired. So yeah,
You mean-
I
you
love
mean
this
when this-
episode, but I imagine there's a lot of people being like, "There's more."
When you say when this aired, you mean this episode aired?
In the
Not
sub.
like during the season?
Yeah, when this episode aired,
With the sub.
in the sub, yeah,
Yeah.
people like it was the same day that we found out that there was going to be a part 3. So I imagine there was a lot of people being like, "This is it, the final episode." And
All right, here we go.
Sure. I mean, I feel
Eren.
like from where it left off in the last episode, there's a lot to do. But they
But I've
could've-
also lived through a lot of anime that ends just like this.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
I mean, this could be the end, honestly, and like, oh, Eren destroyed the whole world, and all of his friends lived happily ever after.
Kept it on a boat.
Right now, most of his friends are in the path of the Titans.
I didn't even think about that before,
He
where
doesn't know that.
he can just make everyone forget,
He can.
you know?
Anyone with that blood, right?
Yeah, because if you live, like, if you're not on his side, the guilt, I feel like, would be unlivable,
Yeah,
maybe?
like Historia, like, I can't let you do that, and if I fail to stop you, I can't live with myself. And he's like, you won't have to,
Yeah.
and not in a threatening way.
Sure.
Yeah,
He's not
right.
saying I'll kill you. He's saying you won't have that memory.
You'll just forget about it all, and then everyone will just live as
But
it
I
doesn't
mean-
happen, and you don't have to worry about it.
And that happened before. It's like, the king and all of his, top brass, they came to the island. He made them all forget, so they wouldn't have to live with the guilt with what they did to the people under the Eldian Empire.
Yep.
And look what happened.
Well, I mean, the problem was there was the rest of the world
True.
who did not forget.
Yeah. But you couldn't make them forget.
Yeah.
But you can kill them all, I suppose. So, with the last scene there with Historia and stuff too, is that trying to push Eren being the father for the baby that she had? Like, what was her question there being about, like, what you know about me having a kid or whatever, right? Because it was supposed to be like some farmhand, right?
Yeah, some
They fell in
stable
love,
boy.
but we've never seen who they are or anything. And then here you have like Eren and Historia there. Does it fit his plan if he's like, all right, well, is that what they're implying a little bit of?
Well,
Or is that
I
just
don't know.
The reason to do it was to keep her from eating Zeke.
eating Zeke, right?
Right.
If she turned into a Titan, they didn't know how that would affect the baby. They need the babies too, and they don't want to risk her and kill her.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like whenever they first said the thing about it being a farmhand, I was like, I don't buy that. That doesn't make sense. It's gonna be Eren, but it could just be like, go get pregnant as fast as you can.
sure,
Maybe.
Who is there?
That
Dude over
guy.
there.
Well,
Go seduce him.
we know that shifters are still potent because Grisha was a shifter by the
Mm-hmm.
time he
Had Eren.
had Eren, right?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Eren remembered when he was born.
He did.
No, and we've had in the royal family members that were already Titans having kids or whatnot, So there's definitely being a shifter does nothing for being able to have kids or anything. So I just wondered if the way she said that was more implying like Eren could be the father, or if it's more of implying like that's them coming up with the idea of like I should have a baby right now kind of thing.
Then,
Then it helps the MP issue that they had.
like, that's fine for now, but she'll just have to repeat that Ymir cycle. If her children will have to eat her.
Yeah.
If she takes Titan powers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they might not do that. I don't know.
I mean, the idea is that they won't need the Titan powers ever again, right? This will just be the people of Paradis.
Yeah.
But they won't necessarily just go away, right? Like, it just goes to someone random.
Yeah. For 13 years.
Unless there's some type of, I don't know,
In-game?
in-game.
Like, Ymir's satisfied and
Yeah.
rests.
Well, Ymir can't be satisfied anymore because Eren took all of the power.
Sure, but could his will overpower hers to the point where he can effectively make that choice for her? I guess is an option. I don't
Sure.
know. I have no idea if it's even possible. It might not even be possible.
Or,
Yeah.
like, what happens if they kill the spine fish thing?
Yeah. I don't know.
What happens then?
Can you kill it?
I don't know.
If you throw all the Titan shifters back into that water.
See, like, I understand if you have like the whole idea of you eat this one, then you get it, and you eat this one, you get it, and it's kind of like passing on this thing. But if someone just dies, you'd figure like you find how does it go from one and just find someone else?
It's like the
Yeah.
Avatar just randomly goes to another
Yeah.
person.
Like I
Well,
understand
they're all-
more of like a
They're all connected, so it's
Like
got to be
magic,
some
man.
kind of hive mind organism. Something like that.
They're all descended from Ymir.
well, sure, but like
Well, my guess is, like, it's like a recessive gene almost. Like, everyone has it, but it does nothing until it's activated, and then it does something. So, like, they all already have it. It's just a question of whether or not it's active.
I guess that could maybe be a thing.
I loved the candlelight tent party. You know, like it's possible we could all just live in peace. But Eren, looked like he was having a decent time. Like, I think he knows at that point what he's going to do.
Oh, yeah, he keeps seeing things to bolster his worldview, right? He sees what happens to the kid. He sees what happens in Congress.
Yeah, I mean that there I think is what really pushes.
That was
That's why he
the
leaves.
nail.
He sees what they're saying, and it's like nothing's gonna change.
It's like
goes
the
with
only
it.
hope the Eldians might have is that they focus so hard on the island devils on Paradis that the ones that are mixed in as refugees don't get killed. That's like the best case scenario, but it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to kill everyone on Paradis.
Was the battle that he was like cutting his leg off on and stuff? Was that the one that we saw with like Gabby and them
When
fighting?
we first saw,
Because like they weren't fighting like Eldians, they were fighting something else, right? And then they dropped
Another
Titans on him and
nation,
stuff.
yeah.
And that was when Gabby was like, "Help!" whatever, and then she threw grenades in on
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
So like, I just wondering if like,
made a war
If it's the
crime.
same battle.
I was just wondering if it was in that. Like, it doesn't have to be the same battle,
I think it's the same war.
but them fighting those people could fit why he was like hurt and injured in that hospital. Whenever was it Falco? Who was it that helped him?
Falco's the one that
To
smuggled his
smuggle-
letters.
Was it
letter,
Falco
yeah.
when he found him?
Yeah.
I like seeing the ice cream scene.
I was amazing.
Them just being amazed by the outside world and stuff too, and whatnot.
I love John being like, they're gonna give us away, those fools. Oh my god, have you tried this? It's completely broke.
Yeah.
They're not giving them enough credit. Wait, are they buying carrots?
Yeah, I like it too. It's like, yeah, keep on the leash or they'll start feeding carrots to that car. Oh, they're not really gonna do. Wait, are they buying carrots? It was really good from Onion Capone. I like it.
It's a good line delivery.
Yeah,
There was. Like, I get the clown thought Levi was a kid, but he was a really creepy clown.
He was.
Clowns.
If you've never seen
Are-
a clown before,
I've
Creepy.
seen a clown before. A lot of clowns are perfectly fine children entertainers. They go to, they're fine. Like, fucking, yeah, Gacy, no.
Yeah. You know, the one that stands outside your house at like midnight. Probably not.
One that stands at the end of the tunnel underneath the bridge. Probably not.
That's a great place to be a clown.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, just there, it's like lit slightly, you know. You wait until you hear someone on the other end, and then you just step out and walk across as a clown. I
Yeah.
mean, oh my gosh, and that's all you do.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, let's go back that way.
I mean,
Let's
it's
just get a
creepy.
hotel. I don't need to go home.
Like, it's creepy, but like, unless it's like, you know, Pennywise, you know, giant space chimera monster, like, if that clown attacks me, I'm gonna get this clown too. Like, he's probably getting me, but I can get him. If it's like a gorilla, that's scary. A gorilla's scary. I can't do shit to a gorilla.
When you
Clown,
can't
I might
shoot
be able to
poke in the
defend
eyeball.
myself. What?
Poke a
He
gorilla
will
eyeball.
rip every limb you have off. Easily.
What if it's a
Including
gorilla
your dick.
dressed up like a clown?
That's scary. Because did he do it? Or did someone do it to him? You know, I have questions.
Eric, sometimes you go through these like, man, I hope a clown kicks his ass. And he's like, it was so hard here, I couldn't do anything. Like, but Eric, it was a clown. You're like, ah.
I thought I could trip him with his giant shoes.
It must be so funny.
Clowns are tricky.
Clowns are meant to be a positive thing.
That's what
That's
makes them
what they're
scary.
intended to be.
Yeah, if he's got like pepper spray in his flour, not expecting it.
It's why people
It's
like
like the
don't like.
Joker.
I think it's why people don't like the dolls that are creepy kind of things. Like a doll's meant to
Sure.
be a child's
Yeah.
plaything, and it's innocent and this
Sure.
and that, and then it's like that's demonic, you know, and they freak out.
I just was like, I feel like the performance given, at least for this clown, was like, hey, little boy. I don't know. It's so weird.
Sure, clowns are creepy.
By default, I don't think it was
He's
meant to
also
do
just
that.
a
By
huge
default, I
clown.
think it was just meant to be.
was
No,
not.
Levi's small.
Still.
Levi's like this tall.
That clown was like
Huge.
towering over everybody.
huge.
What are we saying, guys?
He
That
was on still.
also at the dock is this killer clown going for children?
Maybe.
Couldn't
No,
be.
ridiculous.
Well, he wasn't talking to a child. He was talking to Levi.
Levi looks like a kid. That's the joke.
No.
Hey there, little
Look how
guy.
small Levi is
Sure.
compared to everyone in
And-
that shot.
and
He
his
comes
hair.
up here.
He
That's the
definitely
joke.
does.
Yeah, Onion Capone's just big. But no, that's a creepy clown.
Trying to see
Eric.
if I can find one with the clown next to other people too.
It's real tasty.
He looks like he's so good there. Like, look how big he is.
To
Compared
everybody.
everybody.
Look at those people back here.
It's
He's
not
huge.
That
ridiculous.
is a giant-
What are we saying though? What
This
do
is
you mean?
Andre the Giant.
He's
Yeah.
not.
Levi's not super small. He's not as small as the one kid.
No,
That-
go to the. Okay,
Levi
hold on.
picked up a kid.
He comes
Go
up
to
to
the,
it.
go to
He
the
comes up
fucking
to their
shot when
shoulder.
Levi's are surrounded by all those people.
How about you go to the shot where Levi's standing next to a real kid?
He could be like they.
He
Look,
picks the kid up.
Look how small that kid is.
I'm done. I've chosen to quit.
Look.
You
Look,
guys made me
He comes
quit.
up to their shoulder.
Look at Levi compared to everyone else.
But also compared to the real kid.
If a clown there who might be no taller than that guy at the hat in the center is gonna be like, "Hey, little boy," but they made him sound like, "Hello, little boy. Do you want candy?"
I think what
It
makes
was
him
just
look
weird.
so big is that he's a fat clown, right?
And let's not forget that Attack on Titan's sense of scale changes shot by shot.
It definitely does.
Like he's leaning over, and he is a tall guy. But he could be wearing like lift boots or something. He could be like
He's got his arms.
He's taller than everybody else there.
His arms as wide as the lamppost.
He probably has on silly giant feet.
His
That's
face.
what they do.
Rick.
Look at
That
his
face is
his-
not a standardized
His
unit of
face
measurement, okay?
scaled to other faces
your
is so
guys'
big.
Try washing
And
machine,
your
okay?
guys' warped
Warped.
view of the story.
You're warped.
What do you think this clown is doing in this scene? What do you
He's
think that he does?
creepy
targeting
clown.
that kid.
Ridiculous.
He's a creepy clown.
Why would they write that in? This is supposed to be about a scene of like our innocent group of people experiencing this world for the first time.
No.
And they're
What
like,
it
wow,
is
this is so great.
Is them
also,
realizing
there's a fucking
there's
pedo
this
clown.
facade of all these great things happening.
doesn't match
in
any other
culture
part of the
and stuff,
story of this-
and
of
then
this
it
scene.
changes to they're gonna string this kid up.
There's dark undertones.
Sure. Not everything is as perfect as you think it is. See that pretty clown? Well, really, he's a murderer, Eric. That's
That's
why
the
He's a
intention.
that's
child
what's
murderer.
wrong
Dumb.
with the world
It's
today.
not dumb.
It's real dumb. I'm
It's
sorry,
not
you're right. It's
real
not dumb.
dumb.
It's real dumb.
It's not
what's
real
super
dumb.
dumb.
It's not super dumb.
What do you mean?
You fucking.
If that's the point, it's just
Making me
silly.
do that
Why?
shit.
2 seconds later, they wanted to kill a little kid.
Yeah? And I feel like that should be the turn.
This is the start of the turn. This is like, oh, I thought this was fun and happy. Actually, I'm
know.
getting some really creepy
I
vibes
mean,
off this.
all of it.
And then you're uncertain.
The whole
and then
point
the
of it
next
is
This is why Aaron's like, maybe we should kill the city.
Yeah, that's why.
This is why.
That's why. You're right.
Creepy clowns
I
want
guess
to
I
kill
didn't
kids.
realize.
You can't
That's
get
the
all
point.
the clowns unless everyone's
Yeah.
dead.
This whole
The
city.
only way we know we can get all clowns is we kill all people.
Yeah, this whole city is willing
There'll
to
just be
kill.
more clowns.
Exactly.
The whole
it's
city's-
like everyone's going to be real depressed that most people are dead, and they're going to be like, "How do I cheer up a lot of people? I
you-
turned myself
Look,
into a clown."
Hang on, look. No one in this area had any problem fucking cutting kids' hands off. Okay, so the creepy
Yeah.
clown wanted to give a little kid a sucker and being a little creepy really isn't that bad compared to cutting off kids' hands.
I mean, I see
Right.
your point. I just don't
Is it-
think it's relevant.
I think
Right?
it's quite bad.
Cutting off hands is better than getting a sucker from a creepy clown.
I think the fact that it is a mob punishment is pretty bad. But targeting kids is also
I mean,
quite
one is
bad.
systemic
I wouldn't-
racism, and one is an
Yeah.
outlier. I'm assuming pedophile that is supported by no society.
See?
That
We don't know.
Yeah. So you're saying you support the
Maybe in this culture, clowns.
I'm so anti-clown. So
you-
now I just want the whole scene gone. So at first I was like, "Oh, Levi, they're treating him like a kid because he's short." But now it's not worth what's happened to us, to me.
So you, would you take
to me,
would you take the mob or the clown?
the mob.
So you'd rather be on the mob side?
Well, no, story-wise, the mob is fine.
No,
The
you-
clown is distracting, and now I wish it hadn't happened.
Hey, then we should need more clowns.
I think less
More
clowns is the
clowns
point.
could beat Eren.
Well, moving on.
I don't think any number of clowns could beat
Like, what's-
Eren in his current form.
What's worse, the rumbling, or they're all dressed as clowns in the rumbling?
They're all just
They're
clowns.
all just clowns in the rumble.
That would be worse.
Gosh, Eric, that's a fucking no-brainer.
Little kids are like, oh, look at the and they're dead.
You think this scene is confusing? Just wait until hundreds of millions of people are being slaughtered
I wasn't.
By giant
by
clowns.
giant clowns, and kids are like, "Oh, cool," and then dead.
I wasn't confused until you started talking.
I wasn't confused at all. And I still.
Well, you didn't see it properly.
As Rick said, moving on.
I'm just trying to figure out how there's another, like, how long was part 2 of this? Was it like 13 episodes?
I don't know.
Or was it half, like, actually in half?
14 and 14.
I feel like we don't have very much to go.
Pretty sure we went to episode 17 and then we started with 18.
So it was like 10 or 11.
So there were, part 1 was 17 episodes, and then another 10 episodes. So I'm imagining another 10 episodes for part 3, maybe. I'm not sure.
What can happen in those 10
But it
episodes?
could also be
Well,
15.
they have
It
to
could be
fix
3.
a
I don't know.
boat. He's gonna destroy Marley. They have to
Yeah.
find out how to beat him. Like that's at least 5 episodes right there.
Maybe.
I want to know
Like, I think Eren dies either way.
where's this whale? What part of that
And
looks
I-
like a whale?
I mean,
Show me the way.
Yeah,
Show me
just
the way.
take any part when you see
me the way
that
out.
giant titan and you see its giant rib cage and put skin over it and fins, and it's gonna be a whale.
It's gonna be a whale.
Yeah.
You count the giant bone that
It
goes
looks
straight up
more like
this?
a whale than any animal.
Why does it gotta look
on
like
the
an
earth.
animal? Why does it
At
look like an
all.
animal at all?
It was just a joke for when you weren't here,
No.
and now because you weren't here and you weren't part of the joke, you got to rail against the joke because you weren't part of it. Now you gotta be like, no, it's not a whale.
Joe,
I understand what you're doing.
I'm not,
All
talking
three
about,
of us
I'm not talking
know.
about when I wasn't here. I'm talking about today when you're like, that thing's gonna look so much like a whale, and then it popped up. I'm like, I don't see a
Well,
whale.
I wish we saw it in the water. Is what I said. 'Cause I didn't expect these things were swimming.
They were just like kicking like.
So I
kitty dogs.
imagine whenever it was in the water, if it was in the water at all, I'm not really sure.
How did it travel? Did it float in the steam? That'd be kind of cool.
could be
like a
that
hot
or-
air balloon.
Well, I don't think it was up in the air.
No.
I think it
We-
was
we
either
saw it.
It was
We saw
either
it
floating
come out
or
of
if
the
it was
water.
swimming too.
I want to see it float.
Yeah.
In the steam.
It's so much bigger than those colossal titans.
It's so big.
It's so big.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Ever? How big was? It's it's probably bigger than
It's much bigger than rice.
Yeah.
It's much bigger.
That was really long. I wonder how long this is though.
so long. Like we
How
can't
do you
even
know?
we
We
can't
can't
even
tell.
see the back
I mean,
of it.
it's-
It's so long.
With
Well,
it
I
being
can't
so
see the back of
close
the
to the
Titans either.
colossal titan, like
Yeah, you can.
it's so much bigger than those colossal titans.
Yeah. Like rice. Like
He's definitely bigger.
he
than the
only
colossal.
came up halfway on one of the walls. Right.
No, he went all the way over the wall and then it
But
splattered
he was just
over
like
it, right?
he was doing
well, he
this,
climbed.
right?
Right.
No, I don't think he climbed. I think he was standing.
He stood way up because he was super long,
But so did the colossal titan.
and he went like this,
And he had
Another
no
wall.
face.
and all his guts fell out, and people were falling, and then they like save Historia from the top of it. Like it was
Historia.
That Historia saved
herself.
people.
She
Something
saved
like
people.
that, yeah.
She found him and cut him.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
what got her recognized to get the votes in
She
it.
landed on
She
that cart.
she saved Eren.
but it was
became a
over
hero.
the wall. He was taller than the wall, whichever wall it was.
But yeah, and I don't know if that wall is taller than the first time we saw the colossal, who was just looking over the wall too.
But I just meant like when he was laying down, he wasn't taller than the wall.
True.
He was like half as tall.
Yeah, it was
but
when he stood
Eren
up.
is like twice as tall as a standing titan, and he's way behind him.
Or way
He's
more.
way more than twice, I
Yeah,
think.
he's so big. He's the biggest one.
He looked like 100
Instead of
fit
looking
in
at the wall or the clown, can we look at the Titan at the end?
Back.
No, forward, right?
Where are you going?
No.
You passed
right
it,
there.
Like
Well,
3 times.
I wanted to see from their perspective.
He's like,
but-
Man, oh
he's like-
man.
he's like
20.
10
It's
times.
It's cool to see like that with all the Titans.
Like hundreds
That.
would fit inside of
Look
it.
at his like spine going. So that's like his
Are you talking
spine
about,
back
like-
to a rib cage. And it's like a bunch of ribs.
yeah.
Like if he was a barrel, all
Where?
these would fit inside of him.
Yeah, I suppose. Like if he was a whale and he ate Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. They are the Pinocchios.
Yes. An army of Pinocchios that will destroy the world. Because he couldn't be a
That
real
would
boy.
Be scarier than clowns.
Disney puppets.
They're lying and this giant, like, mile-long noses.
Where is
Turn to donkeys, no!
Where's Zeke?
I think he's up there
That
somewhere.
is a good
You
question.
know, like it's,
Maybe he's stuck in that little tiny rib cage.
Well, there's also what's the go to a little later maybe Rick hit play.
Later?
There's like this thing goes up, but then it like there's little spikes at play. There's these spikes here, but then go to the keep going.
Keep going.
If I remember correctly, you good? I think it. Dang it, no, it was before all that. Rick.
correctly.
It was the first shot.
That see that like there's like
Okay.
something going
Yeah,
up,
he has
but I
like-
can't tell if
that's-
it's just the
He's like
spine
He has like
spikes.
spine spikes.
So like what's that up there?
And pause it.
You
What
think,
is that?
You think Zeke is like up there like the guy in Mad Max that plays guitar?
It's the crow's nest.
I haven't seen Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Just see-
if you had,
Is
you
it
would have been
1,
like,
2,
that's a good one.
or the one with like
Fury Road.
Venom in it?
Fury Road.
Yeah.
Top
The one with
40.
Venom in it.
That's the one with Venom in it.
How long we gotta wait?
Next year.
Why do you do this to us, Eric?
Why
He didn't do it.
Damn.
We're lucky we got a part 3.
Yeah. I want more.
This is his fault.
If we only had
It's
one
not his
episode
fault.
left, I'd
If it's just been us 3,
I would have been real upset with this episode.
Eric, do you have control over what the studio does?
he's the one who told me about it, so it must be his fault.
Now, do I say no, which is the obvious only answer? Do I say yes and make people like, how?
You should.
How does he do it?
You should call them.
Maybe it's the clown's fault.
How would it be the clown's fault?
I don't know. Everything else seems to be the clown's fault.
Okay, you get to pick one.
Uh-huh.
The clown or the whale. Which one do you side with me on?
Wait, so the idea that
Yeah.
he is a whale, or that the clown?
Not that he is a whale,
He
but that like
resembles.
I can see a whale form here.
I mean, sure. I mentioned like if he was a whale that swallowed Pinocchio, that'd be an interesting thing.
But you were so against the whale.
I don't think it looks like a whale, but I think it could be as big as a whale, especially compared to these little Titan guys.
If it was an ink blot, you would say whale.
Whale.
Would I?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
All right. Well, we don't know exactly how long we have to wait.
I like seeing Sasha again.
Yeah, I like
that
seeing
was
all
sad.
of them again. And
Yeah.
It was all sad. Like, it was so sweet, but I knew what was gonna happen.
I know. I hated it.
It was terrible.
And as the story has unfolded, it makes sense why we kind of stepped away from Eren and a lot of that stuff where we didn't really know what he was thinking, because now we do, and it's sad and terrible. And I mean, sweet in the point that all he really cares about is that his friends live long, happy lives.
Yep.
I guess, but they're all dying over the other place. The rumbling, he didn't control
That's
that.
not
They just
his fault.
They just stomped all the people in Paradis. What if they killed him and them and
Well, they were
the
walking single file off the island
people to hide their
right?
numbers. I'm pretty close to it. I
to
think.
minimize the damage. And then once they got to the coast, they just,
Fanned out.
yeah.
And start swimming.
Oh, they didn't mention talking
I got
about
nothing.
Mikasa and the Ackerman power and like what that means.
Yeah.
And we know now that Eren was just straight up, like he from his point of view, or at least it seems like that's not the case, but he was just lying to her to
He was trying to make her not
insecure and
affectionate towards
Yeah.
him anymore.
yeah.
It would be easier for him.
Yeah,
They didn't mention
which
that.
I think feeds into what she was saying too. Of like, if I would have answered differently,
Yeah.
would Aaron have done differently? You know?
I wonder what all of the like what's the exact powers that activate when they're in survival mode? Is it just like slightly faster, slightly stronger?
Yeah,
in
is it just like
senses?
adrenaline?
Yeah, I mean we've seen like a
it's
lightning
gotta be
green
more than
flash,
just
but is
adrenaline.
that actual thing that's happening, or is that just a metaphorical thing that's happening?
Because, like,
It's hard to tell with anime.
he said that their scientists had done research on the Ackerman, like,
Well,
phenomenon.
All I'm saying is like with Levi, in the state that he's in, what are the limits of the powers that can activate?
Yeah, like
Can
if he
he-
just started crying and put out a fire, would that be real or would that be anime?
I don't know.
Can he
so hard to
super
tell.
heal?
As I'm saying, like, could he? Is it any at all related to the subject of Ymir, which they technically kind of
That could
are,
be.
but I don't know. So many questions that part 3 needs to answer.
Yeah, so many things, right? Flashbacks and stuff or something. That'd be good,
All right.
Yeah.
right?
I want to see it.
Yeah.
And I want a new opening.
Or more histories in the thing. Yeah, I guess so.
What a treasure.
I should have known, but I wanted this opening one more time.
One more time.
Yeah.
The last episodes never have the opening.
I know.
But this isn't
I don't
the
know,
last.
But every time it gets...
Kind of.
But it's
I don't
part
know.
3.
I don't know why, but it seems so often that that's what the case is.
Yeah.
Especially in the final
They just need
episode.
more time.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the outro here.
Yeah, I
It's just-
know. These credits.
I know.
Their choice of going more CG with the Titans, you can love it or hate it, but damn if it doesn't work with these colossal Titans. Just Control C, Control V, 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 V.
Well, all their faces and stuff are different.
Some of them are, but like in the backgrounds and stuff.
Well, yeah.
That
Once
one-
they get far enough away,
Yeah.
they're just blobs.
That one guy's face was half of a face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
He took some
They were just.
shell damage.
It was like a moment. It's like literally the entire world has unified together to stop them. And I'm like seeing like their line of ships, and it's like it's the most ships we've ever had together. And I'm just thinking like
the largest
I
guns
might
ever
see
manufactured.
100 in the shot. There are 100 million
Yeah.
of these Titans. If they had killed 1 million, there would be 99 million more.
Is it 100 million?
It's 100 million. There's
Yeah.
so many Titans.
Is that? Did they ever give us that number? Or is
I
that
believe
like?
so.
I'm pretty sure they did.
It's like that's a lot. That's a big number.
I mean, it could have been an exaggeration.
yeah, that's
but
I wonder. Like,
It's why,
But they did say that
pretty
number,
Sure they
I'm
said
pretty
that
sure.
number, and it's a number people keep bringing up when they say that you're planned to kill one by one. As
It's
they go
at
forward.
least millions, like plural.
Yeah.
So even if each one of those ships had killed 1,000, there would still be 900,000
the
left.
way to
So
figure it
many.
out would be like how big is a Titan,
Yeah.
and then how big were the walls,
The
and then
walls
how
were so
many
big.
Titans would fit among those walls.
The walls went like miles.
I know the walls are big.
miles.
I'm not saying the walls
100
were big.
million.
Not saying they were big. I'm saying
Sure.
how big is one of these? How wide?
Yeah.
And then you multiply it by the times that you have the,
Yeah.
and then you get it. That'd be the way to get the number. I just wonder if it is 100 million or if it's more of like that's more exaggerated and it's really like 3 million. You know,
Yeah.
like 3 million is still a lot.
Mhm.
So I just wonder.
That's true.
Fairly certain it's 100 million. Like more certain than I am that that clown's.
That's just,
pedophile.
but that's just like people. Is that the show or is that just people being
I
like,
think
it's
it's the
this
show.
many guys?
I'm
it's
pretty
this
sure
many.
the show
Because
said
I don't
it.
remember them.
I'm trying
saying.
to find it.
If I forget. I don't know. I don't know where it would be in my book. Like I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere, but it's hard to be like, wow, here it is. That'd be great if it was though.
It would be great.
Was it this season?
Yes, but
Because they've also talked about the fear of it for a long time.
I mean, we
I'm
didn't.
pretty sure it was part 1.
There was a time when we didn't even know what was up the walls.
Yeah.
Do you remember those times?
I remember they popped it when there's a Titan in there.
Crazy shit.
I was trying to figure out, like, in the lore, if they said how, like, long the walls were in
don't know.
circumference. I couldn't find anything.
That'd be good.
There were 851 ships that they destroyed in Marley, I think.
Before,
In the port.
when Armin did his attack.
1 million troops, 3 fleets, 21 battleships.
And all of them still wouldn't have helped kill these guys.
Yeah.
You know? Like that was a lot. And that was one.
yeah, like
that was one Titan.
What? Yeah, like a. No matter how many troopers you have, doesn't matter. They're not gonna be able to do anything.
No, unless they can fly and do really cool stuff. But even then, if they release their steam, then it helps protect them too. You know? But yeah.
Tens of millions of titans. Which episode would this have been?
King Fritz said tens of millions of Titans sleep within the walls.
Now that could be propaganda
Yeah, it could be.
because he's trying to unite the world against them.
Sure.
But that was in 4-6, I think.
That's one of the things. Is like it's sometimes it's
4-5.
hard to know. Like, is this the number we have? Is this an exaggerated number from this? Did someone calculate these? You know, like if Hanji said there are, 400 million Titans heading, I'd be like, okay, that's how many Titans are going there because Hanji would tell
I would
me,
trust Hanji, yeah.
But the King, I'm like, that could be propaganda to keep them out. Marley, like they're not necessarily trustworthy either. They could be over embellishing or under
You
embellishing.
might not even know.
Sure. So I was just curious. But
Wow.
it looks like a lot, and then that big Eren.
Okay. So apparently a Redditor who's big on geography approximately figured out how large or how long each of the walls were. While Cena was 178 miles in circumference, while Rose was 522 miles in circumference,
Dang.
and while Maria was 996 miles in circumference.
It's
so big.
Yep.
Well, it took him how many days to ride along which wall?
It was the second inner
Yeah.
wall, I think.
I think so.
To try to find, and they couldn't find a hole.
Yeah.
And then they theorized the Beast-Titan was
So
turning people.
colossal titans have approximately 13 meters from shoulder to shoulder.
And each one only rode halfway too, because they met in the middle.
Sure.
I think it took like 2 days
Do
or
that
something.
13 meters. Just say maybe you give them a little bit more to give some spacing in between. And then you figure them out from there, how many meters in a mile. Then you divide it all up, and you get a lot.
Can't tell you how much I don't want to end this part with math. I don't want to do math.
You didn't even do the math.
But you're a math guy.
I am not our math guy. That's only in Dr. Stone.
All
Man,
right.
it's fake.
13 meter wide.
I
I'll
can-
do the math for you, Eric. Can we do this?
I
I
can
shouldn't have said it. I didn't want to do something.
I can give you 2
It's-
kilometers
I
instead
should
of
start doing
miles.
that. I need to start saying
want.
things I want. Being
So,
like, man, I don't want this to
Cena
happen.
is
And out of
287.
sheer spite, it'll happen.
What if we 287 meters?
287 meters for Cena.
All right, we'll see you guys back here.
287
Rose
meters.
is 841. So
Okay, and then we have to like,
times 1,000.
yeah, and I have to figure out how wide our titans are going to be.
Yeah.
I think 15 meters is pretty good.
13.
Yeah, I know, but we should add a little space because they're not like next
Shoulder to
each other, right?
shoulder.
No, they literally were shoulder to
It's going
shoulder.
to be a long year.
You just add a little, give them 2 meters.
Subscribe.